Kevin O'Leary is everyone's favorite. Being a Canadian millionaire, investor, and a highly nice guy, you may recognize him from the entrepreneurial show Shark Tank. He isn't just looking for a quick buck. He prioritizes the human factor over anything else. Now, in today's episode, we're going to give you Kevin O'Leary's advice on a very peculiar habit that you should practice. You want to know? Now, when watching this, it may seem if Kevin O'Leary's daily money-saving morning habit is simple, but trust me, this is really effective. As you might expect, Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary is quite busy. The multi-millionaire mutual fund tycoon claims his phone rings approximately every 30 seconds, and his email inbox is full, but he doesn't mind. Many successful individuals have a morning ritual that helps them get off on the right foot. For O'Leary, it's anything but leisurely. He strikes the ground running, or rather, bicycling. His morning routine is straightforward. He gets up at 5 a.m. and exercises on his elliptical cycle for 30 minutes before viewing international business news from 5 to 6, looking for any trends developing in the EU that might translate to American markets. To stay current on global markets and current events, he obtains research from banks, reads publications, and watches broadcasts from around the world. He claims that doing so is vital for making judgments at work and helps him avoid costly blunders. Individuals must invest in information, and asserts that they will lose money 100% of the time if they make judgments without appropriate facts. Spending an hour scrolling through articles on your social media feed may appear to be simple. O'Leary's routine is more strict. He explains that the only way to be successful is to become a good filter. You must be able to distinguish between what is and isn't real. During his weekday morning news hour, O'Leary avoids topics with absurd or outrageous titles, no matter how appealing they seem. Instead, he prefers early morning broadcasts from Asia and Europe, where markets open earlier than Wall Street and provide an indication of the speed of his day ahead. He also prioritizes any new peer-reviewed academic and scientific research related to his business, which is typically submitted to him by banks with which his firm works. Notably, O'Leary claims to fact-check any news he reads. He claims that he often watches highlights from BBC broadcasts in the morning, compares them to domestic headlines from national publications, and dismisses any item that isn't supported by numerous sources. Every morning, you'll notice 5 to 7 subjects about what is going on in the world. It might be difficult to decide which media sites to check first thing in the morning. Fact-checking can also extend beyond comparing headlines from various sources. Google offers a free fact-checking tool that allows you to search keywords and determine if statements made on social media or in blog articles are factual. FactCheck.org and PolitiFact provide comparable services, with professionals verifying or debunking public assertions made in viral headlines, social media, and political discussions. After his daily morning news, O'Leary aims to avoid media noise for the rest of the day, avoiding reading the news until at least 4 p.m. He discovers that those who do this in the morning and spend 60 minutes each day gathering information from diverse sources in a constant, habitual manner are more efficient. You're squandering time in the middle of the day when you should be accomplishing your daily responsibilities. He adds that if you allow the news and social media consume your time, you'll become a very inefficient person. Now that's different, right? Anyway, aside from his reading habit, he attempts to burn at least 500 calories throughout his hour-long workout. He may utilize this time to examine reports from his many businesses. After working out, he'll stretch until 6:30 a.m., when he'll return upstairs to his dressing room to wash and change into his distinctive work costume, which is a black suit, white shirt, and black tie. Classic. He normally eats hard-boiled eggs for breakfast while checking emails. He'll arrive at the workplace right around 7 a.m. and work non-stop until 10:30 a.m. Mornings are his most productive time of the day, thus his priority list is arranged to handle the most difficult issues first. At 10:30 a.m., he changes into his training clothes and heads out for a 20-mile bike ride. Kevin returns from his bike ride right around 12:15 p.m., when he'll have a simple lunch that he likes making. O'Leary says he doesn't like to overeat throughout the day and keeps his daily calorie intake at 1,700, leaving enough for a couple glasses of wine at night. At 1 p.m., he begins his second session of work after lunch. Afternoons are dedicated to engaging with the CEOs of the firms, and he also works a lot on social media for his enterprises. This is when he records movies, sends emails, and does little jobs. He'll spend the afternoon at the studio if he's recording. By 5:30 p.m., he's catching up with his coworkers, discussing the events of the day as well as business news and other personal matters. He talks for nearly an hour on the phone, finishing up at about 6:30 p.m. As we said before, he's well known for his love of wine. After all, he owns a wine shop. At 6 p.m., he begins the evening with a crisp white Montrachet or Chardonnay, which he frequently enjoys outside while watching the pelicans soar down the beach. He has a self-imposed 3-drink limit, but he fights to keep it. However, he recognizes that excessive drinking has an impact on his performance the next workday. Later on, Kevin will prepare dinner and likes experimenting in the kitchen. If you check out his Instagram, it is full of photos of him in his chef's outfit, cooking gourmet wonders. After finishing the evening meal, he takes his final glass of wine before retiring to bed at 8:30 p.m. for a good night's sleep. Mr. Wonderful confesses he dislikes watching television and will read a few chapters of a book before resting for the night. Anyway, apart from his famous morning routine, this is the rest of the daily schedule. But is that all? Well, not exactly. Kevin O'Leary, or Mr. Wonderful, frequently posts wise comments on his social media sites. The Shark Tank star recently shared a golden nugget of wisdom that is really simple, yet some still find it difficult to put into practice. Listen for 2/3 of the day and talk for the other 1/3, and see how your life changes. You'll become considerably more powerful and far better at investing, and you'll have far more knowledge and information. O'Leary has discussed the importance of being able to tune in and be present, especially for people just starting out in their careers. If you're just starting out in your job, the most important skill to develop is the ability to listen. Pay attention to those around you. Pay attention to your supervisor. Pay attention to your colleagues. Keep quiet and pay attention. He emphasized the need to listen in order to understand more about your chosen industry and, eventually, to attain your goals. Listening to others and knowing what you're doing, why you're doing it, and the regulations give you enormous influence. O'Leary frequently praises his mother's support for assistance throughout his life. He remarked that one of the wisest choices his mom ever made was to cut him off financially when he graduated from college. Initially, the Shark Tank judge was upset with his mother's choice. However, he discovered that it inspired him to become financially independent. He's now following in his father's footsteps with his own children. Now, this is a great step for your youngster to learn. Want to learn more about his early days? Then I guess you gotta stay tuned with our coming episode. We'll be covering all of this in the next videos. Anyway, after watching today's episode, now you guys could say that it's lovely life for Kevin O'Leary, or Mr. Wonderful, as he is affectionately known. It's quite complicated, but when considering the morning reading session, we would say that's what sets him aside from every entrepreneur out there. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do mention your views in the comment section below. We'll meet again in the next episode. Until then, see ya.